Do we think the curriculum should be knowledge-based or knowledge and skills-based?
Knowledge versus skills is a false thing because skills are just knowledge put into practice. And the second thing I want to say is that what do we mean by skills? And the final thing, just to wrap that all up, is when we talk about a broad and balanced curriculum, let's not forget that none of us in this room will all completely agree about what the purpose of education is. None of us will all have the same thinking about why we educate kids. And so if we have a different view about the why, it shouldn't be a surprise if we don't agree about then what we should be teaching children. And then we shouldn't be surprised if how we then teach kids those things are different.
I found that Pearson BTEC courses were flexible enough to be able to adapt to meet every student's individual needs. If they weren't necessarily that good at writing essays, there was the flexibility of we could record it on a dictaphone.
Teaching should not move on until knowledge is achieved. But skills such as group work, independence and problem solving should never be underestimated or ignored. A curriculum without encompassing skills, I believe, will lead to limitations in life.
When young people leave education, do we want them to have a combination of knowledge and skills, or do we want them to just have knowledge? And I think when you start with that question, to me it becomes unequivocal that we would want them to have both knowledge and skills. The Fair Education Alliance has come up with 2 barriers to making that happen at the moment, and Mark actually touched on one of them: a common language on what we actually mean by skills, social emotional competencies, resilience, well-being, mental health, all of this stuff. We have a gambit of terminology for it. So we are calling for organisations, practitioners to get behind a common language of what we mean by this, so that we can actually move forward and build that into the education system. Do we need to change the curriculum back and forth in order to achieve these? So perhaps we can move the dialogue, A, from debating this, let's just move forward and get behind, we all agree, and B, on changing the curriculum, but focus instead on how we can make this a reality in every school for every young person.